YouTube, what's up? Final mock draft right before the actual draft. A lot of changes. If you see my past mock drafts, a lot of changes. Might look a little different than other mock drafts you've seen from experts and media, but this is kind of just what I'm feeling. It's what I'm feeling is going to happen. We'll see. Tough year to predict because there's just so much talent. Guys in the second round could go first. Guys in the first can go second. But let's get into it. First overall pick, a lot of talk. It could be Trubisky. I'm not buying it. I think it's Myles Garrett, best player in the draft. Second pick, I have the Niners going Jamal Adams. A lot of talk. It's Solomon Thomas. I think they really like Jamal Adams. Really, I think they want to trade back. I don't know if anybody really wants to come up to 2. What do you need to jump the Bears for? Unless Bears are really up in the air what they're going to take. So I think you would want to trade up with the Bears rather than jump the Bears. So I have the Niners taking Jamal Adams. I see them going with him, maybe the best player available on their board. I think he would have to be. Number 3, I have the Bears going Marshawn Lattimore. They would love to have Jamal Adams. If he's gone, they would love to trade back. Maybe they have a taker. But Marshawn Lattimore fills a big need, and I'm hearing could go that high. So I have the Bears taking Marshawn Lattimore. Even though I don't know if I agree with him going that high, still a good player. 4th overall, the Jags. I have the Jags taking Jonathan Allen. This is literally between Jonathan Allen, Leonard Fournette, or Solomon Thomas. It seems like they like Jonathan Allen, Leonard Fournette a lot. I just have a feeling they want to continue to build that defense. They believe defense is going to win them games. It could very much be Fournette though, and if I were them, I would take Fournette here. But I just have a feeling it's going to be Jonathan Allen, but could go either way. Now, 5th overall, I do have the Browns selecting. I am predicting one trade in this mock draft. Browns trading up with the Titans, taking the 5th overall. And I got a bold prediction here. It's Deshaun Watson. All this talk of Mitchell Trubisky, I think it may be a smokescreen. Why would they just come out and say that they love Mitchell Trubisky, they want to trade up to get him, or they might take him first? I mean, it might be a Browns move years ago, but new GM, new front office in there. I mean, it very well could be Trubisky. He's from the area. He loves the Browns. But I'm making a wild card prediction. I think it's Deshaun Watson. They trade up. I think they trade up with the Titans. Very, very good possibility. And they take one of those quarterbacks, Watson or Trubisky. And I'm going with Watson. I think he's got to be the number 1 quarterback on most people's boards. So I'm going with the winner. And 6th overall, I have the Jets taking Trubisky. I know they like Watson or Trubisky, either one. Jets could be a team that could trade back because they like taking best available player, and maybe that's not the best. The quarterback's not the best available player at 6, but quarterbacks always get overdrafted, so people should not be they shouldn't be too surprised. I think this is a good chance it could happen. I mean, or no quarterback go in the top 10, but I think it's more likely that multiple will go this early just because the position is so valued. It's the most important position in football. So I think the Jets would go at Watson or Trubisky, really. So I have them taking Trubisky. 7th overall, pretty simple. Had this for a while. The Chargers taking Malik Hooker. If he's there, I don't think they even think about it. They just take him. And number 8, I have the Panthers taking Leonard Fournette, running back from LSU. And that's pretty much a gift. I've been seeing mocks of them taking McCaffrey, but that's because Fournette is gone. I think they would love to have Fournette in there. And teams overdrafting quarterbacks could help them out. Maybe they don't need to trade up. I had a trade scenario with the Panthers trading up to 3 with the Bears taking Fournette. That's realistic, but they may not need to do it. We'll see. On to the next 8 picks. I have the Bengals taking Solomon Thomas, defensive lineman from Stanford, and everybody's probably wondering why he dropped. I'm ignoring the smoke screen. I'm ignoring the media. I'm going back to the combine where you interview GMs and scouts, and they're real with you for the most part. And back then, Solomon Thomas to them was known as a mid to late first-round pick. And then just because the combine, I mean, he had great production, great player, but all of a sudden the combine hits, it's over, and now he's a top 3 pick. I don't know if I'm buying it. We've seen in the past years, you go back to what the teams originally thought and said, that was more realistic than what was said after the combine. So it's kind of just a hunch I got. I'm just going back to what people said, and I have Solomon Thomas. I don't think the Bengals would be able to pass on him. They could use some defense, get it back to where it was. So, I mean, he definitely can go 2 or 3, 4, maybe even 5. But I just got some feeling, but he's a solid player. 10th pick, the Bills. I have the Bills taking Mike Williams. Now, this could be Mike Williams or O.J. Howard, in my opinion. Maybe they like another receiver than Mike Williams, but I think it's got to be Mike Williams or O.J. Howard. I went with Mike Williams. They definitely need another receiver and multiple receivers in there. And then 11, I have the Saints taking Derek Barnett. Derek Barnett is a guy that can go in. He can go earlier. I think teams could realize what the media is not, that he's just an excellent pass rusher. So he can go earlier. Really, the 3 defensive linemen, Jonathan Allen, Derek Barnett, and Solomon Thomas, big mystery where they're going to go. Like, besides the guys that failed drug tests or got in trouble, those guys are obviously bigger mysteries. But these guys, big mystery, which order they're going to come off in. I expect all of them to be gone by probably this pick, but going to be interesting. They could all be flipped. Maybe I could be completely wrong. Derek Barnett could be the first one off the board, even though that's what I think should happen if I was the GM. I like Derek Barnett a lot. The number 12, I had the Titans trading back from 5 to 12, and I am taking O.J. Howard. They supposedly like O.J. Howard a lot. I know they like him a lot. Could use another tight end and just another weapon in general. Him and Delaney Walker with Mariota could be very scary. If the Bills take O.J. Howard, this 12th pick could be Mike Williams. I know they like Mike Williams a lot. Maybe they stay at 5 and take Mike Williams or O.J. Howard. We will see. 13, I have Hassan Reddick going to the Cardinals. This could be a quarterback. I think this is a quarterback or a guy like Hassan Reddick. If they feel safe about Reuben Foster, could be that too. But Hassan Reddick is really on the rise. I know the Cardinals like him. They lost some guys on defense, and they can use his talents. 14, I have the Eagles taking Christian McCaffrey. He's supposed to be gone by here. I expect him to be gone by 15 at the latest. Dalvin Cook, probably a better prospect than McCaffrey, but he's supposed to slide due to off-the-field issues. McCaffrey's guaranteed a spot in the teens, early teens it sounds like. 15, I have the Colts taking a chance on Reuben Foster. Top 5 player skill-wise, drops a little bit due to the diluted sample he had, but excellent linebacker. Colts could use him for an upgrade. 16, I have the Ravens taking Corey Davis. They need a wide receiver. Obviously, this could be Davis or John Ross. John Ross, recent surgery, so I gave him Corey Davis. And 17th pick is the Washington Redskins. I have them going Taco Charlton, defensive lineman from Michigan. I know they like him a lot. This could be the pick here. Another defensive lineman that's really a mystery where he's going to go. I expect him to go first round. Could go earlier in this. Could go very late in the first round. This could also be a quarterback too, but I think even though it's realistic that Kirk Cousins only has one more year, I think the front office just thinks he's going to stay. They really want him to stay, so maybe they don't go quarterback quite yet. 18th pick, the Titans possibly can trade this one too, but I'm holding on to it. They're taking John Ross. So getting O.J. Howard and John Ross in there, pretty scary. Upgrades at offense. Problem is they do need a corner somewhere in here. But trading back from 5 to 12 gets them a Browns second round pick at the least. They would get more than that, so they can get a corner there. My situation with the corners, the thing I think of is what's the difference between a first round corner and a second round corner in this class is not much of a difference. Example, like just think about Marlon Humphrey or maybe a Quincy Wilson, and then look in the second round, Cordrea Tankersley, Fabian Moreau. Not much of a difference in skill-wise. Obviously, the first rounders are going to be a little better, but that's how good this corner class is, the depth of it. So I would wait to the second. Titans can acquire a second-round pick in that trade with the Browns and get a corner there. Or very much could go with one in the first round. 19th pick, Dalvin Cook to the Buccaneers just makes so much sense. I don't think he gets by this point. Winston's got to be telling him, you take Dalvin Cook. Winston's their guy. Not only they gotta listen, but they gotta see Dalvin Cook how good he is. So I don't think he gets by this point. I'd be very, very surprised if he did. He's a top 10 player skill-wise. 20, I have the Broncos taking Garrett Bowles. There are some rumors that Garrett Bowles doesn't get out of like top 10, I hear. But I think that could be a little smokescreen or a little nonsense. Going to be 25 years old before the season, so I think that makes him drop a little bit, but could be the best offensive lineman in the class. The Lions, I have the Lions taking Karis McKinley. I know the Lions would love to have Reuben Foster or Taco Charlton if they drop. But McKinley they like, and they can use pretty much anything on defense. Losing some guys, need some upgrades there. 22, I have the Dolphins taking Forrest Lamp. They could go linebacker here, but most of them off the board. Could be Jared Davis. He's still on the board, but they like Forrest Lamp. Could use another offensive lineman. 23, I have the Giants taking David Njoku, tight end from Miami. Could go O-lineman here. It's either O-lineman or tight end. I would think Njoku. Wild card picks could be quarterback or running back. But I know they like Njoku. They definitely need an upgrade there, so they take him. Raiders, I have the Raiders taking Chidobe Awuzie. Had this in my last mock too. I think They really like him. He's a guy that can play corner, slot corner, or safety. I think they like that a lot. That can help their team out right away there. And Texans, I have the Texans taking Patrick Mahomes, quarterback from Texas Tech. If Watson somehow drops here, they take Watson. If this is the scenario, they're really thinking hard about it. Mahomes or Kaiser, I think they go Mahomes. I think he seems to be favored over Kaiser at the moment for playing right away. Kaiser has a ton of potential. Seahawks could go lineman, but I have them taking Obi Melifonwu. Safety / corner, could play outside corner from UConn. I know the Seahawks like him a lot. Just a Seahawks kind of guy too, so it makes sense. Could be lineman though, like I said. 27, Chiefs. I have the Chiefs taking Deshaun Kaiser. They could go quarterback of the future here. Makes sense to me. They do need some linebackers, some help on defense. Another corner opposite of Marcus Peters. But I don't know if they like the guys still on the board. I know that they have a ton of picks. They can wait and get those guys in a little later, because of the depth in this draft. You can't really get a quarterback later and a guy with so much potential like Kaiser. So it makes sense to me. I think it would be a good move. But I guess most of you would probably say that's unlikely, but we will see. I don't think Kaiser gets to the second. There's a lot of talk of him getting the second. I just don't think it happens just because the value of quarterback. So I have him going to the Chiefs for now. 28, Cowboys taking Quincy Wilson, corner from Florida. I think he should go before this, but drops to here. I don't think they even think twice about it. They need a corner pretty bad. 29, I have the Packers going with another corner, Marlon Humphrey from Alabama. Needs some work, but he has a ton of potential. Solid player, good motor. 30, Steelers going Jared Davis, Florida linebacker, who is a big-time riser for me. They could use a linebacker. I don't think he gets by this point. I think he can go earlier in this. Look at the Raiders. They could take him as well. And 31, Falcons taking Charles Harris. They need an edge rusher. Charles Harris still on the board. Pretty much a no-brainer there, unless you feel comfortable taking Tim Williams from Alabama, who has off-the-field concerns. And then the last pick in the first round is the Saints. I have the Saints taking Derek Barnett at the 11th pick. I have them taking Tre'Davious White, corner from LSU, with this pick. Another guy that I really don't know where he's going to go. He can go early first. He can go mid first. He can go late first. He can go anywhere in the second too. It's just, how do teams value the slot corner? I know some teams will think he can play outside. I think he can play outside corner, but how do they value him? He's a solid player. Could end up being one of those solid lockdown corners at the next level. So I don't know if he really gets by this point, but there's a number of corners you can plug in here that could go here or the second round. So really up in the air with those corners, really up in the air with this whole draft because of the talent. But that'll do it for this final mock draft. Please stay tuned for more draft coverage. Going to have talking on Twitter, frogs_angels. So please follow us there. Going to be uploading more videos after each day of the draft, during the days leading up to the draft. So a lot of activity going on. So please like, subscribe, and goodbye.